So Season 5 of Dragons of Nine Realms will be released in a few weeks, and I am just so unexcited. Just so absolutely done with that show altogether, but the show makes me money, so I gotta make a video about it, and I am so not looking forward to it. So I thought, why not check out another show that has only 6 episodes out right now, called Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. I honestly wasn't too sure what to even think about this show since I had never even heard of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur before this. I know there's some D-list superheroes from Marvel and Morpheus is producing the show, but other than those things, it didn't sound like anything that special. Just another superhero show with a teenager hiding the secret from their family and fighting bad guys. Rinse and repeat. But then I noticed the team behind the show and that really caught my attention. Flying Bark Productions. Whoa. You mean to tell me that the Mad Lads who animated Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Lego Monkey Kid now have that Disney money?
Yes! Hell yeah! Hey, come on, baby! Come on! Yes! Come on! Yes!
But still, despite the talented people behind the animation, if the story and characters are shit, then we're just gonna end up with a Cars 2 situation where all of the animation went to waste on awful annoying characters and a story that's just plain stupid. But come on, these are the guys who made Rise of the TMNT and Lego Monkey Kid, both really good shows, and the Rise of the TMNT movie that came out last year, also really good. These guys are 2 for 2 when it comes to their animated TV shows, so the question is, can they go 3 for 3? Yes. Yes, they can, because the show is pretty good so far. The show is about a young girl named Lunella Lafayette who lives in the Lower East Side of New York City. Lunella is a Dexter's Lab level genius, right to the point of having her own secret lab under her house. It's just one of those kind of shows, you get used to it quickly. But when she accidentally opens up a wormhole, a large T-Rex walks right through it. But the dinosaur, named Devil, is actually super friendly and tame, so the two team up to fight bad guys because Lunella wants to protect her home and Devil likes food. Instantly the most relatable character in the show. So yeah, on paper, this honestly sounds pretty generic and played out. I mean, a teenager becomes a superhero in New York. They go to school, have a secret identity that only their best friend knows about, and on top of all that, this is a Marvel property. And while I don't think it's part of the MCU, it's still very much a Marvel show. They reference the Avengers and Wakanda at some points, and even Maria Hill is supposed to have an appearance in the show later down the line, which means most likely Nick Fury will show up as well. And I don't know about you guys, but I've just been getting kind of sick of Marvel in recent years. The last MCU thing that I even saw was No Way Home, and that was over a year ago, so, you know, take that for what it's worth. But with all of that being said, what makes this show stand out is its presentation. This show is freaking gorgeous. Which is the least surprising thing about it since this is Flying Bark Productions we're talking about here. This show is just so lively and expressive. The fight scenes, the backgrounds, the musical numbers, it's all just so superb. It perfectly captures that comic book aesthetic that kind of reminds me a bit of Spider-Verse with the music. I also think they took a page right out of Steven Universe's book and having the fight scenes be musical numbers themselves, which are a lot of fun. If you've been with me for a while, you probably know what kind of music I'm into, but the songs here are absolute bops. Especially the Beyonder. Oh my god, this song does not have the right to go this hard. It's just so much fun. If Disney movies don't give us the classic villain songs, then at least we got this gem to jam out to. Oh, and speaking of which, the Beyonder is the best character in this show so far. This gay ray of sunshine is just so fabulous. His design is amazing, the way he shapeshifts into different forms just to keep annoying our main character is funny, but at the same time, he's actually legitimately threatening. He's not really a villain, he leans more towards that chaotic neutral side. He's just really curious about humanity and wants to learn as much as he can, but when he thinks it isn't worth anything, he decides he's just gonna wipe it out because, well, fuck it. He can do literally whatever he wants and no one can stop him. There's even a scene where Lunella sends her friend Casey to distract him while she works on a science project that will literally decide the fate of humanity, but only if she works with this boy that she doesn't like. But instead of working with him, she decides to make the project by herself. And what does the Beyonder do when he sees this? He admits he knew the whole time that he was being distracted because he's practically a god who knows everything already, but went along with it just to get a pedicure. Oh, and then he turns her project into a bunch of pickles. That is some class A petty shit, and it's the best kind. The Beyonder is so good, you guys. You don't even know. Back to the animation, this is everything that I wanted Big Hero 6 the series to be. With its cinematography, colors, fight scenes, even the backgrounds just pop so distinctively. And the expressions on the characters' faces, man, how cool is it that Lunella's goggles are this expressive? The end credits are always different depending on the episode, and even the transition to commercial breaks are unique. It almost looks like you're pulling out a new album cover or something. This show is just so creative with its character designs and the use of color, it's just gorgeous. But hey, animation is one thing. How are the characters? Well, like I said before, this show already succeeded with the Beyonder, but the rest of the characters are pretty good too. There's this really likable and positive vibe that just emanates from this show. You really get to feel that everyone in this community knows each other and cares for each other. I also like how they just don't seem to care that a dinosaur is running around. With all the Avengers shit that happens in their world, a dinosaur is probably just another Tuesday to them. Lunella is a pretty good main character so far. I like how she's actually more grounded and even a bit pessimistic at times, which is such a huge breath of fresh air. Because in case you guys haven't noticed, Disney really likes the bubbly, super optimistic girl. It's like they noticed how popular Mabel was and decided, you know what? Do that again. Like 50 times. 100 times if we can. Now, I'm not saying any of these characters are bad, except for Star. Star ended up being pretty bad, actually. I'm just saying it got kind of obnoxious as we kept seeing the same personality over and over again. So to have a main character who's more grounded and realistic is really refreshing to see. I also like that she's really flawed. I like how she's often responsible for whatever is happening in the episode, like how she keeps feeding this internet troll who only feeds off of her negativity, or this supercomputer who she obsesses over when it comes to a game of chess. The lessons are pretty simple kid stuff, like learning how to be patient or winning isn't everything, but the show does a really good job at making it feel natural and believable. I like watching Lunella have a flaw, cause a problem because of her flaw, learn her lesson, and then implement the lesson into the solution. It's satisfying to watch and just plain a lot of fun. I guess my only real issue with the show so far is how Devil isn't really as prominent as you may think. Sure, he's there and he's cute and funny, but really he's just kinda there. I just figured with the show being called Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, he'd have a bigger role. But to be fair, we're only 6 episodes in, so that could be resolved really quickly very soon. He's still really cool and could honestly make for some good memes. The other characters are pretty likable too, like Lunella's friend Casey, Lunella's family. The antagonists are kind of one note so far, but hopefully they'll come back in later episodes so they can get some proper development. Especially the Beyonder. He'd better come back or else I will riot. I will. Honestly, I don't have a lot else to say. It's too early to decide whether it's amazing or even that great, but so far, it's a really good start. The animation is fantastic, the characters and world are very likable, the music is really good and fits with the animation beautifully. Man, this is just shaping up to be something really special. I'll definitely come back and make a video when season 1 is finished, and frankly, I cannot wait to see what these animators, songwriters, voice actors, and Beyonder have in store for the future. I highly recommend you guys check this show out, because so far, it's over the moon, baby. All the way.
That's why